Welcome back to the channel, two-stroke turbo fans. This is a little shop tech talk on a BMW Isetta, 1957 BMW Isetta to be precise. And a couple days ago I was doing a video on getting this car out of storage for a few months, and I was dismayed about how much play the brake pedal has, or had. Now we've got hardly any play in our brake pedal. It's nice, tight, firm, high, and I suspected that something was amiss, and I'll tell you, a little bit of a spoiler alert, there was a little bit of air in the rear line. There's only one brake on the rear, even though the car has 4 tires. See the 2 in the rear, 2 in the front. A lot of people think Isettas only have 1 tire in the rear, and you'd be correct if you were in England, but not here in the States. So let's go through this car a little bit. This is a 1957 Isetta 300. 300 denotes the cc's of the engine, which is 298 cc's. It is approximately 13 horsepower. It is a 4-stroke engine, overhead valve, detuned from a motorbike is what they say. It is connected to a 4-speed synchromesh transmission. You can see it right in there. And if you look, there's a short little stubby drive shaft. Oh, if I can show you that. That goes to a chain drive. This is a chain drive rear end where both rear tires are fixed. Solid axle. So if I spin this wheel, it in turn spins this wheel, and in turn spins my stubby little drive shaft up there that is held together with what are called guibos, or the rubber insulators. And I have done the relocation kit to make that drive shaft straight. It's straight as an arrow, not kinked, bent, cocked, straight. It improves the car's rolling ability because it's not fighting friction. And to do that, you got to drill out the springs and get some harder guibos. So I went through that in an earlier video. You can see it's pretty clean under here. I've restored the underside of this car, painted the chain case. I put in a Highway Flyer rear sprocket. We'll have stainless steel brake lines, new shoes, painted the backing plates, not just with spray paint, but with 2K paint and clear coat. Painted the gear case or chain case with silver. Detailed this thing pretty good. Let me get the light on here. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Let's take even a closer look under here. So original red paint, original car. Did have to replace the battery box, but that was all the rust that was on this car. And I just went through a bunch of stuff trying to get these brakes working, and I'll show you how this works. It's actually pretty easy to kind of figure out what's going on with the brakes. So what I had was a pedal that went almost to the floor and did nothing. In fact, it scared me. So first thing I did is I checked the brake fluid. Brake fluid on Isetta is underneath the driver's seat, and you just simply unscrew the bottle. And there's no level indicator. You just got to look in there and see. See, I'm going to shake the car here a little bit, and the fluid is right up the top. So we know that's good. The way this works, it's super simple. We screw that back on there so we don't lose anything, because if I pump the brakes, inevitably a little pisser shit shoots up there and get everything wet. So here's your brake pedal. You've got a mechanical linkage here where all your pedals are connected. If you go down underneath the car here, you'll see the brake pedal is not the gas pedal, it's the gas pedal. Brake pedal right here goes on this rod with a return spring that brings the pedal back, continues on this rod, which I just greased it where it goes through the frame, all the way to the master cylinder, which is right there where we just showed you. You can see I dripped a little bit pouring it. The brake light switch is attached to the back of the master cylinder. There is no assist. There is no power brakes. There's no hydro boost. There's no nothing. Super simple. When you push your foot on the pedal inside the car, effectively you are pushing this rod into the cylinder, and you're making the brakes pump fluid at a higher PSI out these little lines. It has 2 lines, I believe. Is there 2 or is there 3? Maybe there's 3. Oh, there's one on top. There's 3 lines, 1 for each wheel. And what you do is you come over here to this wheel here. This is where your brakes are. 2 shoes in there. How many wheel cylinders? Just 1 wheel cylinder on the top, that's right. And this is your adjuster here. It's a 19 millimeter. You would loosen this, lefty loosey, and you would tighten the center part to spread the shoes to get your shoes to be close enough to contact the drums, but yet not stop the drum. So I just did that. I took a 19mm wrench, loosened this up, loosened the adjuster up, and screwed the adjuster in, but I've still got good, see that? It needs to rotate at least once. So you get the shoes really close to the drum, but not close enough to where it's dragging. If they drag, you will hate driving this car because it doesn't have enough horsepower to overcome the brake drag. So you want good sharp brakes. The closer you can adjust those shoes to the drum, the higher the pedal will be. And that's on all 3 wheels. So I think that's a pretty good explanation. I went through and I greased my kingpins. There's a Zerk nipple here, a Zerk nipple there. The brake bleeding screw for the fronts is up here behind this knuckle. You got to take the wheels off to get to them. So I think that pretty much covers the brake system for a BMW Isetta. I don't know if I explained in the back, even though it's a live axle, there's only 1 brake. This car only has 3 brakes total. This side here, you can see that hub is completely empty. This one here has the brakes on it. Same thing, brake adjuster here. You'd loosen that 19mm nut and twist that, I think it's a 11 in. Some of the cars I work on, they come in without this big nut right here, and that allows the brakes to do whatever they want. They can come adjusted, they could tighten up. That's not cool. So everything comes from this side. So the e-brake is only attached to the one side of the rear in a BMW Isetta. Okay, what else should we talk about? Oh, right. I think the next thing is we're going to enjoy this car. Now that I got the brakes working, my confidence is back and I feel like driving it. So the one thing I do want to do though, before I do that, I'm going to take apart the shock that holds open the door. You can see I've got my dowel between the steering base and the door because my door keeps closing on my head, and I got to take this shock out here. It's a dampening shock. It's connected here and here, and I can put a bigger spring in there. So I might do that. Then we're off to driving. It's a nice Friday afternoon. Might take my wife out for a date. I don't know, but stay tuned and find out.